Welcome back, everybody, to Out at Reese's podcast. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis, and joining me on the podcast, we got Sergio Avalos.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Reese.
How you
Finally.
been, man?
I've been good, man. Life's good. Life's crazy, I'm sure. Just like everybody's been experiencing with like getting done dealing with COVID, and,
Right.
some family losses. I'm sure people have been through that. Working on our own things and just, kind of grinding.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
you there, dude. It's
Yeah.
been a really busy year.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Yeah. So what started your need to do a podcast, man?
I've had a lot of people ask me that, and
Yeah.
it really just comes down to I just wanted to try something new
Mm-hmm.
at the start. I knew it could improve my social skills, just my ability to speak, and so I was like, why not? I'll just give it a shot, see how it goes, and
Yeah.
and then I kind of fell in love with certain communities that I've become a part of, such as the underground hip hop community.
Yeah. That's actually the first podcast I got to see. The one where Hunter
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
shouted me out and said I should come by and meet you. And
Yeah, that was super cool. I'm excited to finally have you on.
yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. This is my first podcast too,
Oh,
by the way.
really?
So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
cool. Yeah, I was listening to some other podcasts to kind of just get ready.
Yeah.
And like I was even looking up. There's this YouTube channel called Charisma on Command, and it kind of teaches
I
you
know about
cues
that
on
one.
like how to speak with people and
Right.
mannerisms and whatnot. And I've read a few books in the past too, just on that subject. But yeah, I was kind of nervous for the podcast. I was like, I better get myself ready and get
Yeah.
situated, make sure I'm right. I even did a little bit of meditation before I got here too, just because I do that on a regular basis. But it helped out for sure.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's
Yeah,
got
so-
me in a nice, calm mood for sure.
So do you see yourself as spiritual at all?
Okay, so I grew up Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's intense, man. Like that whole aspect of going to church, going to Sunday school, I feel like is a little bit much. I feel like people make things a little bit more complicated than they need
Yeah.
to be, and I've leaned away from it. I remember when I was 18, my mom and dad were like, "Hey, if you don't want to go to church today, it's your choice. You're 18
Yeah.
now." And I stayed, and that was shocking to them. They were not cool with that whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it was my choice. So I'm glad they abided by that.
Right.
And ever since then, I just kind of been following my own way and just doing what feels right and focusing on that. Just because I hate the complexity of life and I don't know, all the mundane stuff that comes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up LDS,
Mhm.
and I ended up leaving that church at 17.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
I've heard a lot of people leave the church. We're in Utah, so I've met a lot of people that have left the church, and I don't know how you guys do it. In being Catholic, church was 1 hour long. I believe you guys do 3 hours. If I'm not
it's like a
mistaken.
3 hour.
Yeah,
I think
that's a lot.
I think in the last couple of years they changed it to 2 hours because
Mhm.
of COVID and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy
Wow.
because my whole family was a part of it, and we all just kind of left it within the same 2 year span.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy, man. I do like your setup, by the way.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
way different than the other one I saw when you're out and about doing the hip hop shows.
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's
Yeah.
that's usually I prefer that when I'm out doing events. I prefer the kind of the desk table
Mhm.
setup and everything like that. But so tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I was born in Mexico, so I'm the native of Mexico, I guess you can say, right? And I came over to America when I was 6.
6?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, so that was a journey in itself, man. It's kind of crazy to think about and actually talk about it out loud, and now I guess to a public forum, just because we were held up at gunpoint one of the times when we were trying to cross over, by I believe there were the Zetas at the time, or whatever cartel was going on at the time. Yeah, like I'm talking, I was
That's
6.
insane.
My dad stowed all his money in my pockets because they weren't searching the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm talking AKs pointed at us, and
Jeez.
just being a kid and experiencing that and not really knowing what's going on. And now that I'm older and looking back at it, it's a lot crazier. But yeah, we eventually, after the third or fourth time, we made our way back over to the US. I remember the first thing we did was we went straight to McDonald's, and that was my first cheeseburger. Yeah.
So when the cartel, do you know what they're looking for, or what the when they stop people?
Money.
Just money.
Money taken from people, of course. I guess that's their main objective, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that, and yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, I guess. Just to come over here and then like work, right? And now I'm over here working a 9 to 5 in a pretty decent place. I work at Freightliner, so we deal in semi trucks, and I'm pretty much selling heavy duty parts that are like super expensive to like for my 9 to 5, and I'm kind of trying to transition away from it, hopefully, which is going to be like streaming. If it all goes well, of course. I'm sure we were just talking about you doing streaming. It's kind of
you stream on Twitch?
Yeah, I stream on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube using slobs. Yeah, so I'm definitely like investing a lot of my own money up front to be able to do more in the future. And painting murals, man, I love that. I've been doing that. I've been doing that for demolition derby cars now.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
it's
cool.
Pretty cool. I got a couple gigs lined up here shortly. But yeah, man, it's a lot. But it's fun.
How long have you been streaming on Twitch for?
Twitch. I just actually looked at my most like recent sub. I think it's been 2 years now.
Really?
And yeah, it's hard. It's a lot harder than I expected, man. I thought I would be like, yeah, I'm just gonna get
play
on there,
video games and have a good time.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the case. I've started making a lot more TikTok videos, and get my social media presence up and working my way up. But it's a grind, man.
It really is. I remember that's when I started streaming about 2 years ago. It was like end of 2020, and it was at first it was a lot of work, you know, just trying to get everything set up, learning how to use OBS and everything. But I feel like I was growing a decent little community, and then when I moved out of that house, I just kind of stopped.
Yeah. What made you stop?
So when I moved out of there and I moved into here, it's kind of just hard to get things going again, especially because I had just gotten a new job as well. So it was that was taking a lot of my energy and time, and I was also doing the podcast at the same time. So I just kind of stopped streaming, and now my main focus has been this podcast.
Yeah, dude, I know what you mean by that hardship of like transitioning to a job, because that's something I've recently done, and it stopped me from doing a lot of my art, right? And it takes up so much time of your day that people don't realize. And when I'm out of work, I try to do nothing but focus on my art and streaming, and dude, it's like draining. You lose your all your energy. Like, forget about watching Netflix movies for like an hour. Like, that's not even a possibility anymore. Yeah,
right. It's like your whole week you're just doing stuff, and you're like, I can't even like just sit down.
Yeah. Do you feel good when you like complete a podcast or like post it?
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, it is,
I love
man.
it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I think that's why I'm in the whole streaming thing and painting, doing art and murals, man. It's where it's at. It's like there's no comparison, and I hope to one day be like my dad and like get my own business and really just like have that as my business and not rely on anything else.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing like murals and painting and stuff?
Murals, I think so. It's been on and off, just because it's kind of hard for me, right? It's a little bit harder to find jobs because I'm working a 9 to 5 and I have to pay all my bills. So I'm trying to like not be a starving artist, right? I want to do it comfortably, and I feel like that's a lot more different than most people. I have a lot of artist friends here in Utah that have just taken the dive, and I admire them 110%, right? But damn, like that's trippy. I want to be able to like keep my business going of like streaming and doing art, but if you don't have money, it makes things a lot harder, right? Like that's the move right there. You have to have money. But damn, I'm jealous of a lot of people that have taken the big old leap and just gone full send, you know?
Yeah. You know, hope it works out for them. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to be full time at some point?
Yeah, I'm trying to quit my job next year.
Whoa, you're dead set.
I'm like
dang,
ready to
that's pretty inspirational, man. I've been
crazy.
I've been meeting a lot of inspirational people lately. The art friends I'm telling you about, we meet up once a week, usually on
really?
Thursdays. Yeah, to have our art night / sometimes business thing, where we either have somebody speak or we just all hang out and do art. But the reason I'm bringing it up is there's this guy named Chris, and he owns this violin shop downtown over by the People's Coffee. Have you ever been down there?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's just in the downtown area, but he met with us and kind of spilled his business knowledge and is trying to help us apply it to our art knowledge, right? And dude, this guy is crazy. Like when he was speaking with us, we were like surrounded by this wall of violins, and we were kind of just asking him how much some of these cost, right? And he's like, yeah, the cheap ones are like about 20 grand. The more expensive ones, I can't tell you how much they cost or where I have them in the building. And we're like, yeah, we totally understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's somebody that's made a good name for himself and is lucrative with his business of selling violins. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
And he makes them like custom, homemade type of...
I think it's more of like... I told you this is going to come up. Pokemon, like, you know, like you're trading cards. It's kind of like trading violins and so like finding the best ones.
Trading art, trading instruments, like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. But yeah, man, there's definitely a good community of artists here in Utah right now, and it's exploding right now. It's cool to see all the artists. Yeah,
I think I've said this multiple times on other podcasts. Like Utah is just really coming up into something great. You know.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm proud of you, man. That's so cool that you're trying to go like full time in a year.
Yeah, it's
awesome. Are you scared whatsoever?
A little bit.
Yeah, I would be.
I mean, for sure. So I'm still working my job, right? And I really like see the potential of, and I see the direction I want to go. I see the vision. I see the opportunities. There's just a lot of bad habits I have, like a lot of like laziness and stuff that I'm still trying to take care of. That I know if I can't take care of, then how will I be successful in a year or 2 years?
Do you read books or listen to audiobooks?
I've started reading them. So I'm reading one. I actually just had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. He wrote his own book called Journey to Prosper. He's a transformation coach and just helps you transform your life and stuff. So I'm reading his book right now. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, if he's a transformation coach, I'm wondering, does he talk about habits? Yeah, man. I just got done reading The Power of Habit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, it was good.
Have you read Atomic Habits?
I haven't. I hear that one's a good one to read too. But what I took out of this book, right, was pretty much the cue of a habit, what the habit is, and like the reward or the reason you're doing it, right? And I'm trying to do that to myself now. Like after reading all that, and like I'm trying to. Well, I have, right? I've visualized and written down all my bad habits, and now I'm trying to put them into good habits. And man, I've had a lot more bad habits than I thought, dude. Like just watching Netflix, like choosing to go drink with your buddies. Like there's not enough time in the day or life to do both, right? Like you gotta be really picky with it. And it's been like, I just did this last month, and dude, I feel good. Like, I'm feeling good right now.
Really?
Like, yeah, it feels awesome to use my weekend for my advantage of either my business or something personal I want to do. And it feels freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really hard to develop, like, good habits over bad habits. Because the bad habits they're the easy way to go, right? They're the lazier way, the easier way. It's like, naturally we don't want to do something harder, so we have to force ourselves to do it, so it can be really hard.
That's so true. That is so true, man.
That's definitely a struggle I've had when battling my own bad habits, but it definitely pays off when you just stick to like consistently trying to not like take care of those, you know, and turn them into good habits. It really pays off.
Dude, I'm kind of tripped out by the audio quality, having headphones on here and like speaking into here.
Oh, like hearing yourself.
But yeah, in a good way. Like it feels good to like have these headphones on and like be on the mic. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a homey feeling. Like, you know, it's good. I'm glad I decided to come over and hang out with you.
It's awesome. They almost weren't working when you came over. Like
oh, no way.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out why. I just couldn't get any feedback through the monitoring, but
oh man, I remember days where like I started my stream and I get on there and nothing's working and you can't figure it out and you're already live and you're like, all right, guys, I'll be back. And you have to end the stream and like it all cuts out and you have to reset and hope people are still on there.
Right. That's the worst. I hate restarting a stream midstream because I lose like half my viewers. They just don't come back. It's like, why?
Exactly.
It took 10 seconds.
Yeah. Do you do much with your social media to like promote your podcast?
I'm learning it. I mostly use Instagram right now. I'm getting ready to start. I like when I do podcasts, I want to just spend like a month knocking out like just hundreds of clips from all my podcasts, and then just having like at least a daily upload. Yeah. At least to TikTok and Instagram Reels. But right now it's mostly just promotion on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
I'm just trying to learn everything because I really don't know what I'm doing on social media. Like I don't know how to utilize it. I think
there's a reason we met, man. Like if you ever have any questions on like marketing and social media stuff, you should definitely let me know.
Dude, yeah, that'd be awesome. Whatever you could help me out with.
Yeah, for sure. You got questions on it? Yeah, holler at me, man. I'm kind of crazy with my social media game. Really? I have this link tree that has like you name it, whatever social media I probably have it, and it's all on there in one spot, so people can just go in there and click. Have you heard of Linktree?
Yeah, I use it myself. I use it mostly for my podcast platforms and then Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome. Heck yeah. Do you have a donation portion?
Not yet. I'm actually right now I'm building my website.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of where I'm gonna have donations for.
Yeah, that's awesome. You totally should. I think you could do both if you really wanted to. I know Linktree has a little option where you can accept donations too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Because everything helps, man. Like. Money's like doing stuff like this, like podcasts or art, like it's a lot harder as far as money goes.
Right.
So, dude, whatever you can get, man, you totally should, because I mean, look at it. You're taking your time out of your day to have all this equipment here. Like the least somebody could do that's watching is like send you $1 or $2 or, especially if they're enjoying it and like your podcast.
Yeah, just have like a whole support thing. I have also thought of doing a Patreon eventually.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of more further out because I want to do like.
I've heard of Patreon a lot. How does it work?
So I mean, it's like a. It's just a subscription based thing that usually there's different tiers subscriptions, kind of like Twitch subscribers, and there's different benefits that just the benefits that the creator chooses that come with each tier. So like for example, a podcast. Patreon might look like a tier 1 sub gains you access to maybe an early release on like it gets to watch the podcast early or gets to talk with or like maybe talk with the creator themselves or whatever. Then the tier 2 they get a lot more kind of personal, they just get more involved or it's just
sounds like a lot of preemptive work. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize when I started streaming how much like all the cool features on a stream it takes,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kind of just like art too, man. Like I've been trying to develop my skills a lot more. Even though I've been drawing since a young age, like it's still a lot. Yeah. You can always learn more.
Yeah, with stuff like that, with podcasting and streaming, I feel like trying to get everything set up, fine tuning, configurations and all that, setting up your graphics, however. It's once you finally get everything just up and going, then it's usually a lot more smooth from there on out. But aside from some of the issues you might run into.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to start doing two things, the streaming and your murals?
The streaming, I think it came from like wanting to chat with people when COVID was going on and everything was crazy, right? So that's when I started it, and I was on TikTok watching people have so much fun and just having a good time with their chat and playing video games. I've played video games forever, and it's kind of always been home to me, especially when I was like a fat chunky kid when I was younger. Like I didn't want to hang out with people, right? I'm very I guess I could say I'm very much introverted, but sometimes it does not come off like that. I've come off as like an extrovert, but it's way not the case. I'm like, I have like I guess it's social anxiety, but I hate saying that just because like it's just a normal part of life, right? I don't want it to be like a symptom I have. It's just something I want to work on and kind of overcome eventually. But the community and just having buddies on there and like making clips that like make you laugh super hard, even though like everybody in the world doesn't like it. I just genuinely really love it, man. It's such a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, kind of on that introvert extrovert kind of thing, I find it interesting because I feel like just because someone's an introvert, it doesn't mean they have to be to themselves, by themselves, not talking. Like there's some very charismatic and extroverted introverts, you know what I mean? Like they have such a high personality and very, very energetic, enthusiastic, but they're introverts, you know, because the definition is really not what most people usually think it is.
Yeah, that's very true, man. It's a mixed bag for sure. It gets pretty complicated. And then the mural stuff, man. Dude, since I was 12, man, I've been drawing, you know, and I'm really good at like visualizing something and like looking at something and then like drawing it, right? But as long as like I have a reference, I feel like I'm almost like a copycat to a point, but I'm trying to move away from that and like make it my own thing and like kind of develop myself as an artist. But yeah, I guess the reason I bring up 12 years old is because I remember for some reason having the impulse when I was 12 and like my family had like this Jesus piece like of Jesus like realistically on there on the cross and whatnot. So I decided to go ahead and copy it with color pencils and Crayolas, and it ended up looking like super realistic. And my parents were like, "Yo, bro, what is this?" I'm like, "That's crazy. No, isn't it so cool?" And getting that feeling of somebody else having my artwork critiqued in like a very good way of being like, "Oh, that looks awesome," like it hypes you up, you know, and you're like, "Oh, I want to do this more." And like I feel like that kind of trickled onto what I'm doing now, which is like either making artwork for a wall, demolition derby car, or for my website. And it's man, there's no like comparable feeling to me. So I think that's one of the good reasons why. And I mean, of course there's more, you know, but
you're right.
Yeah, the money's always cool to get definitely. Money from your commission work. Man.
Yeah, it's I've actually just recently bought painting canvases, like just blank canvases. I bought an easel, I bought acrylic paint. Now I just want to start practicing painting. Maybe watch some Bob Ross videos or something.
Yeah, like, dude, I actually love that, right? Like me and my girlfriend, we went to Colorado, I believe, and we did a paint and smoke night, right? And like with you have to pay to get in and whatnot. But we pretty much showed up, and we were so surprised that it was a thing, right? You show up, there's a giant bowl of weed in the center, and everybody's just like, "All right, so this is art night. Feel comfortable. Now go ahead and start smoking, and then we'll start painting." So everybody's just smoking there, getting like lit, and there's clearly people that like, "Oh my God, you've never smoked a day in your life, and you should probably not be here." But everybody ended up like coming out of the thing with an awesome painting, and like. My girlfriend, she's a beast, bro. Like she has this mindset of like, okay, I like to paint, right? And I like to be exact, and I'll take a few hours just on sketching. She just like knocks it out and like does it like nothing, but she has no artist background. And I kind of helped her one time. But yeah, she, besides the point, she ended up finishing that painting way faster than everybody in the art class. And then she went ahead and like, she was kind of high. So she went to go get herself another canvas and painted another one and ended up leaving with two. Like, it was a good time.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like for me, when so I fix copiers for my 9-to-5 job. There's this giant printer that it's inkjet printer. It's prints on those really wide canvases.
Cool.
And so sometimes when I'm cleaning those, it uses ink and stuff. I'm just kind of cleaning it with a rag, and it feels like I'm painting. I just like hear the soft sounds, and I'm like, that's nice. And that's what inspired me. I was like, you know what? I want to paint now. Like for some reason, just cleaning this ink made me want to buy paint supplies.
Yeah, definitely, dude. You just made me think. On TikTok, there's a lot of people that are doing like just short clips of like them like either painting, and you can hear a can or a brush kind of passing over. I'm trying to push up my content to be a little bit more like that and have a little bit more of like, you know, 2-second clips to like kind of get the people going and like stuck on the video, because that's like I feel like a tricky thing for artists to like transition into the TikTok world or social media world and have it be engaging. Like it's.
Do you use like spray spray cans too?
Yeah, so my main medium is spray paint, and oh man, I love that. Like you can paint so much faster with that.
Oh,
Like
really?
yeah. Last year I painted 2 demolition derby cars in one day. And like I'm talking like around the whole car, you know, and
Yeah.
it ended up looking super crazy. I wish I could like just show you guys all a picture right now, you know, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So where do you practice when you don't have jobs but you just want to get the experience in?
So before, it was going out to like abandoned spots
Oh, okay.
and painting whatever I wanted. You know, it's I started out just lettering with spray paint, but it doesn't do it for me anymore, man. Like it comes to a point where you're like, all right, I'm painting this name, and like,
Yeah.
yay, like people get to see it. That's it. Like what's it giving back to me, right?
Right.
So it transitioned into like, all right, I want to paint this object or thing, and it went from being out on the streets to I built a wall in my backyard that's like, how big is it? I think it's 8 by 8. So it's no wait, 8 by 16 feet. Yeah, so it's super big.
Yeah.
And I have Jake the dog on one side right now, like hovering over my graffiti piece,
Yeah.
and like he's this buff dude, right? In like buff form, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And this lettering at the bottom that says E-ROMs, which is a graph name I kind of use freely. I'm not like tagging anymore, so I don't really care if anybody hears it, right? Which is s'more backwards and with the letter cut off. And no, it's kind of complicated. But on the other side, I did this TikTok mural giveaway. So I kind of just had people comment their favorite character and a word they might want tagged. And I did a spinning wheel. And the character that ended up winning was the guy from Fight Club. Which is super challenging, right?
Yeah.
And like now I have to do a realistic person with spray paint, and the bottom is gonna say Sigma. So it's clearly some TikTok kid that was like all in the man hype type trend thing, you know? Right. Yeah. So I'm doing that one on the other side, and that's where I'm practicing now. And dude, I love it, man. I'll wake up, get some coffee, go to my backyard, and just do whatever I want on my wall.
Awesome. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be posting that soon, so make sure you guys follow me on Avalos Creative everywhere. So
do you usually just paint in the mornings, or is it just any time of day?
Any time of the day. The reason I built the wall is because when it's snowing and you want to go out and about, like just to an abandoned spot, it's terrible. Like you're walking through mud and it's crazy. So the wall at the bottom, at the base, has like a bunch of concrete blocks I put down. So I can so the snow melts faster, and then I can just still walk on there. Right. But yeah, in the summer, dude, I'm gonna be back there the whole time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll be there most of the time. Pretty excited for that.
I've always wanted to try something like that because
like you're gonna have to come over.
Dude, I'd be so down. That sounds sick. I've always wanted to try just like with spray paint too, and just see what I can do. I mean,
dude, I actually might have a good podcast idea for you, bro.
Really?
Yeah, we could set this up in my backyard, and then have all my art friends. They're planning to come over already. Yeah. So you could like meet a bunch of the local artists that are out there, and then have some people painting in the background while you're doing your thing, dude.
Yeah. After the podcast, you'll have to tell me more about that and stuff. We
definitely will.
Maybe plan something.
Yeah. Man. There's a lot of good people out there right now, man. It's awesome. We gotta keep in touch with those people.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually been wanting to. When Hunter told me about you, I was like, I gotta get involved. Like this is cool. I want to get involved in this scene. It seems like it's a pretty cool community.
Yeah, it's fun, man. There's a lot of talented people out here right now. I see them on social media all the time and try to repost their stuff. So if you guys ever see some posts from my page, it's probably some local buddies of mine that are either doing way better skill than me or just doing something really cool I like. Yeah.
So when you do your social media stuff, do you try to keep your painting and murals separate from your streaming, or do you kind of just put it all as under one kind of persona?
Yeah, that's such a good question, bro. At the beginning, I was like, man, you have to have multiple pages. I got to do it that way, right? No way. Ain't no way anybody has that much time. That's not going to happen. If you guys are watching right now, don't do it. It's going to kill yourself. I recommend being yourself, and then just hope it grows from there, man, because it's not worth the trouble of having 3 different Instagram pages for all the things you're doing. You're gonna go crazy. I go crazy just having the stuff I have now.
Right, like I have 2 Instagrams, and that's like it's just kind of a pain switching back and forth.
Yeah,
just managing, but
you know that like little pain of like that switch. Okay, that little time that you get is the difference between you getting inspired and doing something really cool with the rest of your day, or like, oh, you just switched over to the other Instagram and now you're like, oh man, I've been scrolling for like 2 hours. Whoops. Yeah, it's tough, man. Dude, that stuff drives me crazy. Like, I hate waking up in the morning, and this is one of those bad habits I told you about, right? I've been catching myself waking up and being on social media for exactly 40 minutes. And I know this because I set a timer for my TikTok to like kick me off when it's 40 minutes. And so I've been switching over to just waking up, taking a shower, and dipping out to my nearest coffee shop and going over there to either write notes for my day or draw on my iPad for the current thing I'm trying to work on. And man, it's been nice, man.
Yeah, that's one of the bad habits I have is I'll just spend way too much time on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, just because like, and it's like I hate it. Like I hate that form of content. I hate that's like the standard of the content now, just because it's so addicting. You know, it's just so unhealthy. Bro. But it is. I find myself caught in it all the time. Yeah. I just when I realize that I have to be like, no, come on, just get off. Yeah. Turn your phone off and just go do something else. It's so hard. Yeah, dude,
it's so bad. Like my girl and I, when we have dinner and make dinner together, it's not allowed. We can't have our phones there, man, because we used to do that and we'd just be sitting there scrolling, kind of eating,
not even really talking to each other.
Yeah, and it's so weird. And I live with my brother and his wife, right? We're all in the same home. Yeah. And not Martin, don't get mad at me because you might watch this, but I noticed him and his girl doing the same thing me and my girl were doing, right? So we're not innocent to the whole thing, but they were just sitting there, and I'm like, man, that looks really boring because I just got to watch that, right? And from an outside perspective, and I was like, interesting. So I just kind of left it at that, and I didn't mention anything until now, of course. So don't hate me, dude.
That's literally how I feel when I like see couples that are just on their phone when they're eating together. I'm like I just because I feel like I used to do that with my ex back when I was dating her in 2018, 2019, and I just like after going through this whole crazy phase of just trying to work on myself, self-improvement, doing research on stuff, you know, on phones and different things like that. And I just realized, like, man, phones are like, they're supposed to be a tool and a form of communication, but we use them so much to stimulate our minds. It's like so bad for us. Yeah, for our minds,
true. You know? And it's so true.
So it like ruins the social connection you have with other people when you're like just tied to your phone.
Yeah. So in preparation for the podcast, right, I was looking up videos of having good conversations because I didn't want it to be weird or anything. Let's have a bad conversation. I'm always kind of pretty thoughtful on stuff like that I'm going to be participating in, right? And one of the things is like a good way to stop a conversation anytime is pull out your phone. Like, and nobody's going to talk to you because you're on your phone, and people get bothered when you go, hey dude, what are you doing? And they're on their phone, you know, so
they're just talking to you. They're kind of like texting, scrolling.
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine if I was just like here, I was like, hold on, dude. And I'm just here texting and like ignoring you. Yeah.
Imagine how your audience would feel if they saw you doing that.
Oh man.
Like that'd be
good. On stream. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have to, right, to like kind of communicate to people, like to either hop on or something.
I mean, like if like your audience was watching you on a podcast, you were just doing that, they'd be like, "That's disrespectful." Yeah, that's rude. They'd be like, "What are you doing, bro?
Boring podcast, bro. I don't want to watch this." Yeah, it's interesting. What are some things you try to do to prepare for your like podcast to be like entertaining or exciting?
So one thing I love about my podcast is I'll prepare it, like based off of that form I had you fill out.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was kind of genuinely surprised. I was like, oh, he cares about what he's doing. I was like, this is awesome.
So I use that to kind of as the base, right? I just like, okay, here's who they are. Here's kind of what they're doing, just to give me an idea of if I need to research anything. But I also love the authentic, like just natural flowing podcast where like I'll have the general ideas that I'm going to talk about or bring up, but the rest is like I want to be completely like kind of improvised because I feel like that's where you get the most meaningful stuff, because if it's not planned what you're going to say, usually it can come out a lot better. And
that's very true.
And then also I have some vocal exercises I do.
Oh, do you?
One that's cool. I learned one from Tony Robbins. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I do know. What's the practice?
Well, I think it was from Tony Robbins. Can
we do it right now?
Yeah, okay, let's do it. All right, so it's basically I actually learned it from Charisma on Demand. But I think he was the one that said that Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Said it is you basically like pound your chest and say this is absolutely amazing, and you
Yeah.
start doing that over and over, getting louder and louder.
Yeah. Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right,
okay,
let's do it.
hold on. I want to make sure I don't smack the shit out of your mic.
Yeah,
all right,
you
let's
can
go.
move it back
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
Ready?
This
is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
This is absolutely amazing.
Oh shit, man! I'm all hyped as hell, dude. Like, let's go do some
works,
shit now.
dude.
Yeah,
It like works really well.
Yeah.
It gets my
Wow.
blood pumping. I think like hitting your chest, it just really
Yeah.
sends like your
Oh,
literally your heart
dude,
just to pump your blood.
So
through.
I
don't know.
go to raves, right?
It's crazy.
Do you know what raves are? Like EDM
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever they call them.
I've never
now.
been one, but I've heard about.
Yeah,
them.
so there's this the Wolf of Wall Street. They have this song where they go or whatever, and they're
Yeah.
humming. So this DJ remixed it and put it in like a song at a show live.
Yeah.
And everybody in the crowd is just sitting there pumping their chest and humming. And bro, it just like
That's awesome.
it's giving me chills right now thinking about it because everybody was just there vibing, going super hard. You know, it was incredible, man.
That's so cool. I've wanted to go try a rave. I've never really had the opportunity.
Yeah, next year this year. Next month is what I meant to say. I'm going to one of the biggest ones, dude. I'm going to
really?
EDC. Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin invited me to that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was just too expensive.
Dude, it's super expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Like hella expensive. If I didn't have a good
Is it
job
like-
right now, there's no way I'd be going.
Isn't it like a couple $100 for a ticket?
It's $500, I think, for a ticket, right?
Is that just the baseline? Like
Baseline ticket, you ain't getting VIP, nothing like that, right?
Dang.
And then aside from that, you have to plan for your stay, shuttle if you're taking it. But my girl and I, like, she's super good at planning traveling stuff, so I'm super grateful for her. We've been together for 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually.
How old are you now? Just curious.
How old do you think I am?
I would have guessed like 24.
Oh, that's so great. I love getting that guess, dude. Everybody always guesses way younger, and
Really?
I'm super stoked about that. But I'm actually 29.
29?
29, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That is crazy.
Yeah. But it's good feeling to hear that. And
How
then,
old do you think I am? I mean, you could probably guess pretty easily, but
are you 22?
close. I'm 23.
23. Okay.
See, that makes me feel good because I used to have like my hair used to be a lot worse with like thinning, and my face was a little more puffy. It just made me look older overall. So people would think
were you like smoking or something? That,
I was smoking a lot of weed, but also like I just wasn't taking care of my hair or anything. Like I just used this horrible shampoo and conditioner. I wasn't working out as much as I do now. And everything. And so people would think I was, especially when I'd grow my beard out, people thought I was like 30. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I was like 20
I would have
time.
never guessed you with the beard, bro. Like, you look so clean shaven right now. I would have never guessed it.
I actually just had a beard this morning. I shaved it off.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No way. That's crazy. I think the
not-
podcast you were last on, I didn't see you with a beard.
Well, not like a long one. It was like a scruff because my beard grows pretty fast.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, what were we talking about? We were talking about some.
Oh yeah, it was the
EDC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my girl, thankfully, she's like super smart on traveling. And her dad has an RV already, so we're taking an RV out there.
Perfect.
So we're gonna be staying there.
That's so sick.
And then we're getting ourselves ready with like bikes and stuff, because I guess you got to bike to the thing still, because the campsite is just huge, because it's tons of people that want to camp there and do that. So I guess they're having goat yoga as one of the things we could do, because we're part of the camping event.
What's the difference between that and regular yoga?
There's goats.
There's
goats, bro.
You just do yoga around goats?
Yeah, and they're just they're around there, and then like we've seen videos from it, and like the goats are hopping on you, and like you're just chilling there doing your yoga, and goats are weird, man. They're always making like some weird ass sounds and like yelling like for no good reason.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I wonder why they do that, to be honest.
It's like that. Yeah, that's such a. I wonder if that just is like some kind of tradition or something from. Who knows?
The past, the goat yoga?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I have no idea.
So
now I'm going to ask that when we're there doing the goat yoga. I'm like, where did this start? And they're going to be like, here. EDC, dude. We're all on drugs and then decided to do goat yoga.
Would you ever go to Burning Man, or have you been?
I have not been. I've been going to shows for raves, I guess you can say, for like 10 years plus, dude.
What is Burning Man? Burning Man's not a rave, is it?
Burning Man's like more of like
a festival.
no phones,
something.
like connection with people, and like a shitload of sound in your face is what it seems like to me. And there's
a lot of drugs too, I heard.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be, right? Like people are experiencing spiritual things, right?
Exactly.
So you got to do drugs. That's what it seems like. But yeah, that seems like too much for me, man. I couldn't do it.
I've heard of some crazy stories happening at Burning Man. I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to go.
Yeah, and,
just because of that.
Yeah, with more social media now, like you get to see a lot more of it, and yeah, it's trippy, man. It's like apocalypse vibes almost, bro. It's dude, I like being a clean person. Like I'm not trying to be dusty for 3 days, and it's
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, not for me, but if you guys love it, awesome. I think it's a cool idea.
I like camping a lot, but but if I'm gonna be around a lot of people, I'd rather be like clean.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. That's a weird stigma, I guess. Is that the correct word? I'm gonna roll with it. That we have for people, man. Like you're not supposed to stink, right? Like it's a weird thing. It's a new thing to a lot of people, but being clean, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like I don't want to. I get that it's a natural odor that you're producing, but I also don't want to smell your stinky ass.
Right, exactly, because it smells bad. It hurts my nose. It's
exactly.
It's weird though. There's a whole rabbit hole I could go down about like cleanliness, because like it basically just has to do with like nothing's like truly clean.
That's like, true.
But
that's
we try to put on such like a false world of clean. Like,
I think it's
so weird.
Not to like, I don't know, sound weird, but it's kind of spiritual to be clean, right? Like people say cleanliness is the closest thing to godliness or whatever. I think like a lot of Mayan people and like Aztec people like really drove the point home of like cleaning yourself every day and like looking good for yourself, and it's a pretty cool thing. Kind of like that from my ancestors, I guess you can say. What's your background of like your lineage?
Like for blood, I'm Irish.
Irish people are lit, dude. They're lit. I just seen this TikTok video where this kid's coming home back to Ireland and he's playing this like Irish jig in his car, and then he sees his grandpa and his grandpa looks at him like all like tough, right? Yeah. And then he just busts out in this like Irish jig and like sends it, and I'm like, wow.
I actually dated this girl online. She's from Ireland for like a couple months. But yeah, I'm Irish.
Just for a couple months?
Yeah.
What's that about? Just a couple months online?
Yeah. It was weird. It was like we were really we got close fast because, it's a whole story on its own. But it just, I don't know. I don't know what happened to this day. Like something, the way it ended was really weird. And I just.
In person? Eventually?
No. We were
all online.
We were planning to meet up, but
yeah,
it just didn't work out.
Wow, that's trippy.
Online, especially long distance that far, is so hard.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of what is it? That Chat Roulette and Omegle and all those websites?
Yeah.
Those are crazy. Me and my buddies used to get on there when we were younger.
Omegle's fun, dude. Yeah, it's like fun to just talk to people, find some cool, see all the dicks popping up.
Dude, that is not the cool part, bro. You're just chilling and then like, it's like, oh shit.
Just like boom.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. That's a crazy site. But yeah,
it's insane.
I guess the reason people are getting on there is for that social connection, right? I bet you it was...
Especially, it popped off during COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
I think before COVID, they're at like 18,000 users or something. And then COVID happened and it was like 50, 60, 80,000 users, something like that. It was crazy.
That is crazy, man. Yeah, it's wild.
I've actually met some friends on there that I still sometimes text today.
Dude, me too, man. Weird. I have like some Canadian buddy that like hops onto my stream now and then, and like
really,
that's awesome. We game, yeah. It's crazy. I've actually met some people from streaming and gaming, and I met up with them in Las Vegas, and we like had a wild night, and I put it up on my YouTube video, bro. So before I was streaming on Twitch, I was doing like YouTube videos. Yeah, and dude, is this close enough?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, sweet.
I met some people through YouTube. Like one lives in Seattle, Florida, stuff like that. Yeah. And one day we were just like, yo, it's PAX West, and let's like. Because my friend lived right next to the convention center, who I met online on YouTube. What's
PAX West? What is that?
It's like an anime gaming, Twitch, YouTube type convention.
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
sounds like
a lot of big streamers will go to it and stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool. It's up in Seattle. But I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
I was
So
like Dr. Disrespect and people like that.
yeah,
there.
yeah, they like to go to those as well. And
that's cool.
So I went to that and I met him in person. Then
Whoa.
my other friend from Florida, she's actually come to Utah, and I've gone out to Miami, and we've all hung out before. It's been really cool to just meet people online like dude. That. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing, bro, because we have all these people around our community that we know, right, and they know us on like whatever type of manner they met us, but the people that we don't know and that are further away, like I've seen more support from them than like people that I have close to me, and I'm like, what is up with that? And I kind of looked into it, and it's people for some reason don't want to see other people win, and like it's the people that are close to you, and it's like what the hell is that, bro?
It's almost like a weird competition thing.
Yeah, you know? I hate it, dude. I try to like support all my friends that like are local, and like repost their stuff on my stories, bro, because like they're doing shit that like, okay, I might be a little jealous that I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool, but here's this, I'm still gonna share it. Like look at my homies doing all these great things, you know.
I think it's because people just get envious of your success.
Yeah, I definitely try to move past that, man.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's not good for anybody.
It's so weird because it's like it seems like it's almost natural for people to naturally kind of gravitate towards that when they see someone succeed, and then that's where they decide like, okay, there's no reason to be upset. I'm gonna be happy for them, or they're gonna just go the other way and like just become a hater, I guess.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Wow.
Yeah, I often think about in the future when I'm successful, with a lot of money, maybe publicity, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. How like old friends or family might treat me, or might, you know, because I heard you are just treated differently when you have a lot of money and a lot of like fame.
I absolutely love that you're saying when. When I'm successful, because dude, if you don't have that mindset, dude, it's not good for you. You have to be like, yo, we're gonna fucking make it, and we got this.
Even if you don't believe it yet, you have to keep telling yourself that, because I feel like that's how I was. I didn't truly believe it, but I kept telling myself that, and now I've truly adopted the mindset of like I will be successful.
And that's good, dude.
It really gives you a different perspective when you can truly believe that. You have a different perspective on what you're doing.
Oh yeah. That's so good to hear, man. I love hearing that, because I feel like you and I are probably we're in different realms, right, as far as like what we're doing. But yeah, man, the goal is to succeed, right? Like I don't want to work my 9 to 5 forever. You know, people joke around and they're like, hey, you're gonna be a for lifer here, and I'm like, fuck that, dude. I promise you I'm not. And if I am, there's gonna be a point where I probably quit before retirement. Like that's the goal, like for sure, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And
that shit scares me. Working for life, or like somebody else's dream, like
working 40 hours every week doing something you don't even like really.
Yeah, I mean, man. Dude, we're in a good point in the world, man. Like where we can do some cool shit. I mean, there's always a lot of scary things going on outside the world, especially now. But I read this book from Jordan Peterson, The 12 Rules of Life, and one of my favorite rules from his book is focus on yourself and your family to be able to have the biggest impact on the outside world, right? And I try to live by that now.
So do you believe the American dream still exists? Like it's still an active thing?
I mean, I literally almost died coming over here to to get it. So yes, I do believe in it. Now, I think the part they leave out is you have to finesse the shit out of it. Yeah. Because if you're not doing something like for example, bro, people say there isn't work. There's people at Home Depot sitting out there for hours in the rain or in the cold or in the sun, you know, just to be able to get some more money to be able to make their goals happen. You know, like it's all there. We just have to go out there and get it, man. And I'm hard on myself sometimes because I'm like, dude, are you doing enough? You know, and I question myself like that all the time. Oh, me too. It's rough. It's a rough feeling, but once you like for example, today, right now, we're talking and making it more of a reality. It's such a good reminder of like why we're doing it and why we should keep doing it.
Exactly. And when you're really just seeing kind of how everything, like when you question yourself, right, you're like, man, am I doing enough? Mm-hmm. It definitely comes down to like, even if I am doing enough or not, I need to keep putting more of an effort in every single day. Because like
for sure.
I like, even if what you're doing is enough, I don't think it's truly enough anyways. Like I think you should always be trying to go one step further. And
yeah, that's for sure. I don't know if it was a movie I was watching recently or what, but the character was telling this other person, he's like, my dad used to tell me every night before I went to sleep, he's like, are you sure you did enough today to be able to wake up tomorrow and deserve to wake up tomorrow, right? And like I heard that and I was like, oh fuck, am I doing that, dude? Like you question yourself on that shit and you're like, oh, I could do a little bit more, you know? And that's kind of the reason I'm taking that shift, like that mind shift of like the habits and like trying to make that my day-to-day on the good habits, because you know, like life is short, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like I recently had my mom pass away last year from cancer, like, and it was out of nowhere, bro. We found out it was like stage 4. She tried to kind of keep it low key from us and act like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine, but once my brother and I found out like the actual thing that was going on, it's like she passed away pretty quickly, and it's like, it just makes me think like, man, it's really that short. Like,
right.
I had my mom there one day and we were hanging out just thinking life is forever, right? But it's really,
it can just end so unexpectedly too. Like,
yeah, man.
Like even just
it's
like
scary, you know.
My brother driving up, say from Utah County,
Mm-hmm.
he could get into a car accident and die or something.
Yeah.
You know, like not to be dark, but like that's
it's
just the reality.
Yeah,
of it,
my girlfriend thinks I'm crazy sometimes because I'm like negative, or it's not me being negative. I'm like, yo, you could die. You should probably go hang out with your friends and have fun. You know, like it can happen anytime. And I actually have a friend that her name is Laura, and she went off on a road trip with her family, and then she died just from the road trip, man. They hit a patch of ice, and I'm not sure how the accident went down, but she ended up dying, man. And yeah, that was a few years back now, but yeah, man. There's if you guys haven't experienced it yet, like when your family member dies and like they're really close to you, man, that's a whole nother thing. I don't think anybody's really ready for it, but I would recommend anybody that's listening to this to kind of get ready for that, because it's gonna probably happen one day. And I would recommend just being there and being present with that person and smiling. I noticed that I did that for my mom when she was like on hospice, because she couldn't even talk anymore, right? It got to that point, and I just remember smiling at her and her smiling back, and dude, like I think that made a big difference in her life, right? But it's crazy. Yeah, we should all smile more towards people.
Definitely.
And like, you know, keep that going, because it's gonna go one day, whether you believe it or not.
One day it'll happen.
Yeah.
And you just gotta kind of be ready for it, as ready as you can be, because nobody is truly just ready for someone they love to pass away.
Yeah, you're not. But yeah, just make sure you guys are present if it does happen, and be there with that person and just smile, because it could come down to that point, you know. Yeah. So it's a lot.
I actually, kind of on that note of just, you know, not knowing what to expect in life, and finding the drive to wake up every morning. I heard this question, so I don't want to take credit for this. I heard it on a YouTube short.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it's from, but let me ask you this: if I give you $1 million right now, no strings attached, how would you feel?
Dude, I'd feel great. And I've heard this question, but go ahead.
Now, let's say I gave you $10 million right now, but you can't wake up tomorrow morning.
I'm not taking it, bro.
Right.
Hell, I'm not taking it, bro. Like waking up, fuck.
So why not wake up every morning as if you're worth $10 million? Exactly. As if that day's worth $10 million.
Yes, sir, man. I agree 110%, man. You remind me of like how I woke up today, because dude, after having my mom pass away and like having a lot of close friends either pass away from whatever it might have been, right? Oddly enough, I've had a lot of good people leave my life, but I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I woke up, bro. Like you have to act like that and like be like, yo, dude, we're alive. We're lucky enough to be here, and it's fucking great, man. Like be thankful for that, man. And when either my girl or I are having kind of a hard time, we ask ourselves the question of like, what are you grateful for today, right? Tell us something you're grateful for. And yeah, man, you just gotta keep that attitude up, man, because
Right.
it's intense, and a lot of life is hard, and you gotta do what you can do, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be the scariest thing, especially when you really get deep into like what is life, who am I, right?
When
Like,
when you were younger, when did you realize like, hey, there's gonna be a day that I'm gonna die? Do you remember that?
I don't know if it really ever, like, I mean, occasionally I'd get hit with kind of like it's kind of weird that I'm gonna die one day. But
Mm-hmm.
back then when I was still LDS, I kind of was like, oh, but I'll just go to heaven or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And when I left the church, I've done, I was experimenting with different things and just learning about the universe, how stuff works, thinking about consciousness and all that, and just knowing that we don't truly know what's after, like, after death, right? Now, like, even now when I think about, like, well, I'm gonna die one day, like, I'm gonna be old one day, this life, everything I've ever known is just gonna, that life is just gone, whatever's next, whether there is something or not, it's just, it like can sometimes kind of shake me to my core.
Yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
I'm literally gonna die one day. That's just so weird.
Yeah, dude. I'm asking the question because I vividly remember the day.
Oh, really?
I realized that was gonna happen. I was 12. I'm like chilling from after like a school day, right? And I'm sitting there like ready to go to sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, it's kind of crazy. I'm actually gonna die one day. And then it fucking hit me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die one day, right? And like tears start coming off my face, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like sitting there having a panic attack, and I run over to my mom, and I'm like, yo mom, I'm gonna die. I know I'm gonna die. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you're fine, nothing's happening, right? She's like, are you okay? And I kind of just told her, I was like, hey, I know I'm gonna die one day now, and like, you can't hide it from me. And that was it, dude. That was the moment I was like panicking for myself. And yeah, not to make this podcast a scary one, but
No,
man, you guys are gonna die one day. Like, do whatever the hell you want, don't be mean to anybody, but do whatever you need to do.
One thing I think of a lot is like when I'm old, and this helps kind of keep me going as well, along with a bunch of other things. But I'll think often when I'm old, do I want to look back on my life and think, I wish I did more? I wish or saying I could have been better.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Especially because I will die one day, right? So it's, how do I want to?
Yeah, man. I read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh yeah, my brother was telling me about that book.
Dude, it's fantastic, man. I'll give you the cliff notes. You come away with the takeaway of like showing people gratitude and appreciation, right? And when they're doing something well, not when they're being assholes or anything like that. The point is to like not even bother with that, because if you're telling somebody they're being sometimes it calls for it, right? Like, but you got to be careful with it either way, because at the end of the day, it doesn't produce anything better for them or you.
Right.
You both end up either angry and something bad happens. So what you have to do is just be like, hey, you did a great job today. Or when you notice somebody that like sucks at doing a certain thing in your like life, and you notice them do something well, you go, hey, you did a great job, right? And just kind of keep pushing it forward.
Exactly. People, like, naturally, humans love attention. So when you can give them attention that especially for things they were doing, right?
Oh yeah.
And showing them like positive feedback, people love that.
Yeah, that's so true.
I love it. I love when people like will listen to my podcast and tell me, dude, this was awesome. I love when you talk about this or whatever. Like, it really inspires me to just keep going.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I think that's why I'm still going with my art and painting murals and doing whatever I can, because hearing that feedback, like, it's awesome, man.
It's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have an old coworker from the last job I was at before I transitioned to the one I'm at. I painted the Goonies on his shoes, and it has the ugly looking dude and then the like Asian kid on the other side of the shoe. I can't recall their names at the moment.
Yeah,
right?
I can't
Sorry
either.
to disrespect
it's been
the
way
show
too
like
long since I've seen it.
Yeah, but he got the shoes done, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna wear these every day at work, because they were his work shoes, and like, I'm gonna tell everybody about your stuff. And like, he literally did
so
that.
Cool.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got more jobs from it. Painted a welding helmet from it, and yeah, man. And if you guys want to check any of that stuff out, it's all on my Instagram too. So feel free.
Oh, Sloth. I know that's what the ugly dude.
Yeah,
name was.
Sloth. Yeah,
I can't remember anyone else's but Sloth.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Speaking of your Instagram, dude, we got to get wrapping up here. But do you want to promote any of your social media, Twitch, whatever?
Yeah, definitely. Check me out on. You know what? I'm gonna say go to any of my social media at Avalos Creative, and I also have a website avalos-creative.com. Really easy to find. I'm pretty easy to find on just a Google search too. I know I'm the first one that pops up. But if you guys could come by, just kind of support, hit me with either a like, a subscribe on anything, YouTube as well. Just come through. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'll link all of his stuff in the description below. His Linktree website, whatever is the best. But make sure you guys go check that out if you guys want to follow me on social media, or if you enjoyed this.
Yeah, definitely go follow Reese on social media.
Subscribe, follow wherever it is you're listening. You can just follow me on Instagram out at Reese's or Reese Shalvis. I'll have those linked in the description below as well. Yeah. But
awesome.
I appreciate you guys watching. Hey, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome, sick. Bro. Yeah, it was great. Great conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wherever it is you guys were listening and watching, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.
Later, y'all.